Thank you, Mr. President. Dear colleagues, we are debating today two very thorough and informative reports on a key issue: the inclusion of investor protection instruments in international trade and investment agreements, such as TTIP, etc. This is an important issue with considerable impact on social conditions and business. The two reports each approach the issue from a different vantage point, as we have heard. I'll forego the discussion of the report by Mr. Omtzigt and concentrate on a few of the differences between the two reports. In the view of our group, the report by Mr. Davies provides convincing argumentation against the inclusion of ICS provisions in new generation trade and investment agreements, particularly between advanced countries. The existing legal protection for investors is comprehensive and robust, as we have just heard. There is therefore no need in principle for the creation of ICS. Therefore, the inclusion of ICS is either completely superfluous and unnecessary, or it creates new rights to which only foreign investors have access, and domestic parties do not. The report of Mr. Omtzigt largely, not completely, but largely bypasses this inequality. Secondly, as the report of Mr. Davies shows, the way in which ICS is currently designed creates legal uncertainty because it fails to introduce a doctrine of precedent. Constructed in such a way, the ICS lacks consistency and confronts investors and governments alike with unpredictability. This is contrary to the claims often made in support of ICS. Obviously, investor protection agreements exist, and to the extent that new comprehensive trade and investment agreements will still be concluded, which is increasingly uncertain, it is likely that they will include such provisions. So from a realist position, it is necessary that we look closer at the conditions under which this might happen. In order to avoid the situation that this assembly would be debating two mutually exclusive resolutions, we have attempted to amend both draft resolutions in such a way that they, one, express an agreement between both sides to disagree on the ultimate desirability of ICS, and two, to agree on a number of minimum safeguards to account for some of the most heavily criticized aspects of ICS, to ensure that ICS clauses are fully compliant with ECHR provisions and case law, to provide an exit option for governments after a reasonable period, and to make sure that only actually incurred damages can be claimed and not foregone future earnings. And under such conditions, the resolutions would be acceptable to our group.